This is the second in a series of 3 podcasts looking at IPA, and this one focuses on key concepts in IPA research. Key to everything is the focus on experience, the things in themselves. Other key concepts that we'll cover are bracketing, the phenomenological reduction, methodology. We'll have a look at the life world, which has 4 common themes: temporality, spatiality, embodiment, and intersubjectivity. So the focus is on experience, a focus on the things themselves. Through the study of experience, the phenomenologist and the phenomenological psychologist seeks to understand the people's experience so that we can use this knowledge to make a difference to the lived world of ourselves and of others. A key concept in this regard is intentionality. Intentionality refers to the fact that whenever we are conscious, we are always conscious of something. And because there is always an object of consciousness, the mind is no longer understood as something private within the individual. There's no ghost in the machine. Instead, the mind is regarded as something that's intrinsically public. According to Husserl, in order to discern the essence of things in their appearing, it is necessary to bracket off one's everyday way of perceiving the world. Husserl says that to phenomenologically describe a cup of coffee, for example, I need to set aside my emotional associations and my abstract suppositions regarding a cup of coffee. And when I do this, then I can concentrate on the cup of coffee in itself. This idea of setting aside was borrowed from the ancient skeptics who used to mean a general suspension of judgment about the world. The existential phenomenologists Heidegger, Sartre and Merleau-Ponty argued that Husserl was mistaken when he suggested that one could take a God's eye view on experience. They argue that all experience is grounded in our being in the world. This means that although we should try to put our views regarding the topic under investigation to one side in order to focus on our participants' understanding, we need to recognize that this is an imperfect process. Therefore, we need to be reflexive regarding what it is that we bring to our analysis. The phenomenological reduction is the procedure designed to facilitate a return to the things in themselves, following the process of bracketing. It's the method that allows phenomenologists to group the essence of the thing under investigation. In short, it requires that we don't explain the phenomena, we describe it. That we treat all features of the experience with equal importance, at least at first, and that we check our understanding of the data with the data itself. This is important. We want to try to avoid imposing our way of understanding the data onto the participant's experience. In practice, in IPA, we use the reduction as a start point, and we tend to move away from the reduction as we interpret our findings in terms of the structures of the life world that we'll look at now in a moment. In IPA, the usual method is the semi-structured interview. Detail is a very important part of this, as is letting participants have the room to describe their experience. Moving on to the life world. The life world has 4 components: temporality, spatiality, embodiment, and intersubjectivity. Looking first at temporality. Temporality is the experience of time. The experience of time is fundamental to what we are. It's central to what it means to exist, really. Our understanding in the present, or in the now, so to speak, always involves our past and a projection into the future. Our being in the world is forever in the process of becoming within time. And my late father-in-law used to talk about how when he was a child it used to take forever for Christmas to come around, and how now that he was getting older it felt like there was only a week between Christmases. I was talking briefly to a colleague this morning who mentioned when he was small, the summer holidays seemed to last forever, and now they're over in a week, it feels like. So our experience of time is central to each of our life worlds. Spatiality is our experience of space. It's something we normally don't think about that much, but yet intuitively we know that it impacts our lived experience. Lived space is an existential theme that refers to the space that we live in. If we understand somebody's life world, if we want to understand somebody's life world, it's necessary to consider the nature of the lived space that gives their particular experience its quality of meaning. Can you feel this picture in your stomach? When I saw it, I immediately felt, yikes. In mine, I could feel it in my backbone. Can you imagine that you're the person up there holding the camera? Can you imagine how it felt? And I included this photograph here for a very specific reason. I want to try to illustrate why embodiment is of concern to phenomenologists. How we experience the world is intimately bound up with how we experience our bodies. Embodied experience is fundamental to the life world and thus fundamental to understanding the lived experience of people in the world. Intersubjectivity refers to the relational, shared and often overlapping nature of our engagement in the world. The focus is on what goes on between people. So as a researcher, your role is to try and uncover the layers of meaning by developing a thematic description around the four life world aspects that we've just introduced. You may not be able to consider them all in your analysis. Indeed, you may not need to. What is important is to examine the data for where these features do appear and then include this in your analysis.